I mentioned at the beginning of the program that military leaders say speed is an important part of their success in lots of different areas. More and more military leaders say they're open to using commercial solutions off the shelf instead of asking for customization. Bri Frost is Director of Cybersecurity and IT Ops Curriculum at Pluralsight. She says agility is one of the greatest lessons the public sector can learn from the commercial world.
Typically, I think we can all agree there's a little bit more red tape, there's a little bit more steps, there's a little bit more process-driven decisions that happen. And so we can say, hey, we've made these mistakes. We've made these mistakes in implementation, or this kind of tech stack really works really well for your objectives. And I think I would love to see a better partnership between public sector and private sector really working together to make a more seamless transition to new technologies, especially I can all see the big rise of AI and how that has been implemented. I think there's less risk innovating and doing more implementation into the private sector firms than public sector. So we can use that and partner together.
What would help you in industry if the department, if the services would do that, fill in the blank, to be able to drive that speed?
Yeah, I think having kind of public sector objectives and missions, we're all of us in cybersecurity are mission focused, right? I always use the term, our whole goal, our whole mission, no matter what you do in security, is to be better than the adversaries. We all want to fight the bad guys. And I think that comes so much more into fruition from public sector and government missions. And so to be able to kind of get that oomph behind it and get that over the hurdle of yes, we all want to reduce business risk. We all want to reduce spend for cost of breaches, but having that really important mission of benefiting that partnership between private and public sector, I think not just helps drive business decisions, but helps us as individuals, as security professionals, really push that innovation and that research forward.
What are the questions that C-Service people are bringing you at a show like this? And what maybe are they not asking you that they should be asking you?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think right now, as I mentioned, everyone top of mind is AI. AI. How do we implement this? What should we be considering? What are the security risks? And I always use the term, it reminds me back in 2018, 2019, and everyone's zero trust.
Yeah.
Zero trust, and no one could actually really define what zero trust meant. Or we're seeing a lot of vendor products utilize fear to sell products, right? So they're we have a one-stop shop button push for zero trust. And now that we're 5, 6, 7 years into zero trust implementation, we know that's not quite how it works. And I'm seeing a lot of that reminiscent from AI threat detection, AI this, AI that, AI powered threats, AI powered attacks. AI is just a tool. Before there were SIEMs, before there was EDR, before there was all of these vendor products, we still did security analysis. All those tools just made us better and made us more efficient. AI is just a tool that's going to make us better, make us more efficient. I think there's a lot of fear being utilized right now to sell one-stop shop solutions and button-pushing solutions that I don't think is going to be utilized 2 to 3 years in the future. Where I think we should be asking the questions from public sector agencies is, where can this help us become more efficient in our mission and in our directives and in our objectives? Not just trying to be the forefront of the name of the game and use the newest tool and the newest LLM.
Yeah.
I think it's going to make all of us kind of transition as a whole to be just better considerate of how we're going to be utilizing that in our every day and ingest into the tools that we already use.
How do you advise people to cut through that kind of fear hype and determine whether something is going to add value to what they're trying to accomplish?
Yeah, it's a really good question, because I come from a security research background, and we do a lot of adversary emulation and show how adversaries are changing their tactics and techniques based on new technologies. And so what I love to show is we do a lot of lessons learned from new breaches, and I'm like, these guys are still using the same PowerShell scripts that they used 10 years ago. Their campaigns and their attacks are more efficient and they're able to scale quickly, but the tactics and techniques are the same. If you at a agency level or even private enterprise level have your security controls in place and you test them regularly and you emulate what the attackers are doing, nothing that AI is going to do is going to change that. It doesn't change the techniques. It doesn't change the tactics. They're still getting in via user click, or even supply chain now is kind of the big aspect for kind of security access and initial access. They're still, spreading throughout the network. Like, none of that has drastically changed. It's the same thing that they were doing 10 years ago. They now just are able to do it with more efficiency.
Bri Frost of Pluralsight.